we're going down to Dallas, and our guys are going to be ready to play, and we're going to win that football game. And when we do, we're in first place in the NFC East. We control our own destiny. We're right where we need to be.
Hey, welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live from above the Heineken River deck at Pier 17. Eagles head coach Doug Pederson showing confidence in his squad by predicting a win in Dallas this weekend. Later at his press conference, he clarified that bold prediction.
I promise you, Jason Garrett's going to say the same thing with his team. They're going to win the football game as well. And, I'm not going to stand up here and go on record and say we're going to go down there and try to win a game. We're going to, hopefully we can go win this. It just doesn't show confidence. And I want to show confidence in our players.
All about confidence. Marcus Spears back with us. Good to see you. Stephen A., how much impact will Pederson's comments have on that Sunday night football showdown?
I think it's going to have some impact because I think that he's putting the team on notice. You got to stand up, step up, and remind people who you are. And I think that's what this comes down to. Remember, this is the same Eagles team that got blown out 48-7 by New Orleans last year. I think that was week 11, if I remember correctly, and we thought that they were done. Their secondary was just in shreds. It was in shambles. They were awful, similar to what they look like right now. And as a result, Nick Foles takes over the helm a couple of weeks later. And then after Carson Wentz gets hurt, they ball out. Their defense looks considerably better, and this is what it is. The NFC East is one of the toughest divisions in football religiously. No matter how scrub-like a team is, somehow, some way, they all get up for each other. You don't see blowouts taking place within an NFC East competition. Then I have to dissect what's happening with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I say, number one, your secondary is god-awful. Rasul Douglas, that kid, I forgot, I think it's Sidney Jones. That's just embarrassing. They should actually give Jeffrey Lurie the game check back. That's how bad they were with what Stephon Diggs did to them. They just got embarrassed. They should be ashamed of themselves, how embarrassing that was. To me, to use a boxing analogy, Max, that was the equivalent of Joppy going up against Felix Trinidad at the Garden when Trinidad just walked through him and destroyed them. Go look at the highlights of that fight and you'll see what kind of beatdown that was. That's what happened with Stephon Diggs against those two dudes Sunday. But Carson Wentz, we see statistically he's only completing 61% of his passes. I counted about 14 drops. About 14 drops this year, including two game winners. Carson Wentz is not the problem. Oh, by the way, he's only been sacked 10 times. That offensive line is not the problem. Oh, by the way, Jordan Howard is averaging better than 4 yards a carry. But for some reason, Pederson has only called this number an average of 11 times a game. He's only got 66 carries in 6 games. Give the man the ball more if he's averaging more than 4.5 yards a carry. I think that when you say the kind of thing that Doug Pederson has said, and you're going to Dallas, particularly with Dallas having lost 3 in a row, you're basically saying to your team, the season is on the line. That's why I was so bold to say what I said. Answer the call if you want your season to survive. That's the message I feel from Doug Pederson, and that's the message I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to embrace.
I don't think this has any impact on this game at all. It's an NFC East rivalry game with first place on the line. Two teams who have not looked good recently. Two quarterbacks with stuff to prove. One just got paid, and I don't care what anyone says. Early on in the season, Stephen A., I agree with you. Drop passes, you can point to that and say Wentz has been playing, better than the numbers show. Recently, I've been watching him very closely. He has not played well. He had 2 good throws all game last game. 2 good throws down the sideline to Alshon Jeffrey and a nice 15-yarder to Zach Ertz, and otherwise no good throws. I'm sorry. He feels like the pocket's collapsing when it's not. He bails. He holds on to it too long when the pocket's holding. His pocket presence, his awareness is shot right now. And so he has stuff to prove. He got that big contract. And Dak, we all know, has something to prove too. He's playing for the contract right now. In addition to all that, the Cowboys should have their tackles back, returning the best offensive line and run game, really, when you count that in the NFL, to a real good run defense with the Eagles. So already it's a game like when you talk about as much as the league has changed, show me the offensive line, show me the run defense, because that tells you what's happening up front. Is there a pocket or isn't there, right? All those things, all those elements exist in this game already. I don't think a little bulletin board material from a Super Bowl winning coach saying, I think we're going to win the game is going to do anything here.
I think it means everything to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be honest with you because, look.
To the Eagles. I thought you were going to say the Cowboys.
Yeah, to the Eagles. Think about this. You got a 3-3 team in Philly that has no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
At least the Cowboys can say, Tyron Smith not playing, Lyle Collins has been out, Amari Cooper hadn't been healthy for the past few weeks. And that's no excuse. Nobody's going to give you a pass on that, but at least they can say that. You look at Philly and you look at this secondary, but Carson Wentz is already paid like he's supposed to overcome that. You talk about this offense with Alshon and them bringing over Deshaun Jackson. They're supposed to be elite and creating these Philadelphia Eagles was no less than the perception of the Dallas Cowboys, and we did not expect them to be 3-3 at this point. So Doug Pederson is telling Philly, I think what Stephen A. said is perfectly correct. The season is on the line. We can catch the Cowboys after 3 losses. After losing to the 0-4, if we don't win this game, the doubt's going to creep into our building about who we are. Because we talked about the must-win when they played Green Bay. Remember, we were talking about that, and the Philly has to go win this game. Now you're in a situation where you got the division in your hands. You got a team that's reeling. We're talking about Jason Garrett not possibly making it through the season. This would be the biggest indictment on the Philadelphia Eagles if they go to Dallas and lose to the Cowboys.
You can't make the secondary any faster. Max, without Deshaun Watson, you still can't throw the ball down the field.
But my point is, just like the response to the Cowboys losing to the Jets, who I might add has a pretty good defense, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares that your stalwart left tackle didn't play. Nobody cares about that. You know what we going to say? You know what I said this morning? Dak Prescott got to lift the Cowboys beyond losing to the 0-4 Jets. That's going to be the conversation around Carson Wentz. That's going to be the conversation around Doug Pederson. Pederson gets a little bit of a pass because they just recently won the Super Bowl.
Well, not just that, but I think it's think about what I just said here. And again, you played, you know this better than us. Let's analyze this for a second here. The offensive line is protecting the quarterback. The offensive line is run blocking enough to produce a quality running game. When you average 4.5 yards a carry, you got a decent running game. And on top of it all, not only are you protecting the quarterback, not only have you facilitated the running game, you have a leading 13, 14 drops on the year, including 2 game winners against Detroit and Atlanta, respectively, or Atlanta then Detroit. What I'm saying to you is when you take those 3 elements into consideration, if you want to point to Pederson, you automatically attach him and Swartz, a former head coach in Detroit, who's your defensive coordinator, because your problem is there. Offensively, the only thing you can legitimately point to is Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, get over here. Catch the damn ball. Catch the damn ball. What are you doing? I'm talking about if I'm Pederson, I'm literally like, we're in my office. Why are you, what's the matter? We need Stickum? We need Velcro. Do we need to go to Walmart or Target or Target, whichever word you prefer? Do we need to go somewhere so you can buy these damn gloves? Do I need to cheat and apply some stickers, crazy glue something?
Deflate the ball.
Deflate the. Do I need to do something? Catch the damn ball. That's what I'm saying.
I hear you, but you're too set in that narrative from early in the season. What I'm saying now is, yes,
Max, that didn't happen last week?
No, Carson Wentz is forcing the ball down the field. He should be dink and dunk if you have. Nick Foles would just be dinking and dunking, and they'd be winning.
All right, Max. Let me ask you a question, because you know your boxing, but you watch your baseball. You love your baseball. You know what I'm saying? Yankees about to go up against the Astros. Stay with me, Max. I'm coming to you now. Yankees about to go up against Astros. Damn it, we had Verlander the other day till that damn J-Hap got on him. Ooh, don't get me started with him. Here's my point. If I know I got Jared Cole, and I know I got Verlander to deal with, am I thinking about singles, doubles. Or I might think about, I got to smack this ball out of the park because I can't dip and
No,
dunk.
I'm so glad you bring that up.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yes,
I can't do it.
No, here's the
That's
problem.
what I'm saying.
The reason those games go into extra innings and seem never to end is because guys stop getting on base because everyone, that inevitably sets in, I could end this, I could send us home with one swing. No, work the count, get on base.
No, whoa. Ain't no working, no count against Fairland and Cole. You stop it, man.
As a matter of fact,
all I'm saying
as a matter of fact, you can.
If Kirk Cousins and those boys come out and you see my defense stinks up the joint, I'm looking for the home run because I ain't got no faith in them.
I'm glad you brought that up because Zach Brown, who talked about Kirk Cousins, the linebacker, and then we couldn't find him on the microphones. Yeah, the Eagles released him. Cowboys
are. Why he's probably going?
What?
Because you talked all that mess and then didn't want to answer no damn questions after you lost.
Yeah.
And he's not good enough to survive that.
Men are there. This league is about men.
Cowboys are favored by less than a field goal. Also, Pederson says that he's hopeful Deshaun Jackson will be back for that game. Marcus will be with us in just a bit. The defending champs are rolling through the AFC, but do not miss which team these guys think has the best chance to dethrone Brady's bunch. Is there a team? That's the question. Will Kawhi turn LeBron into Prince James in Los Angeles this season?
Hell no.
We talk about the battle for LA after this short break.
Hell no.
You feel offended.
Toronto Raptors are the 2019 NBA champions.
We the North are now we the champions.
What it do, baby? Yeah.